What I think most of you probably already know what I want to talk about today, hence the title of the video. But I want everybody to take a step back and stop freaking the out about Alex Sarr. So, if you don't know what's going on, Alex Sarr has had a bad last two games of the NBA Summer League, in which he has made one out of 21 field goal attempts in the last two games, which is atrocious. That's below 5% for a field goal percentage, which is terrible. Just absolutely terrible. And everyone's freaking out and saying, we were giving Bronny such a hard time being the 55th pick, but like, look at this guy. He's terrible, and he's the second overall pick. So I want everyone to calm the down and realize that this is Summer League. And I know I've made some, assumptions about other players during Summer League, but typically they're good ones. Reed Shepherd came out, and you can just tell by his personality that he's just got grit. He's a dog. Alex Sarr, I haven't seen that yet. And Alex Sarr got drafted one spot ahead of Reed Shepherd. So the pressure is on, and it's going to be, a uphill battle from this point on for him to prove, that he was worthy of that draft spot. I don't think it makes it easier with the fact that, he tried to basically finagle his way out of going to Atlanta, because there were some talks that the Hawks did want to draft him number one overall, but he didn't want to go there, and he made that pretty public. I don't know if it was really him or if it was his team or, whatever, but everyone kind of knew that he didn't want to go to the Hawks. So I think what I'm thinking about here is I didn't expect him to play offensively this bad, but I did anticipate that he was not going to be a well-rounded or polished offensive player. From all of the highlights that I saw, like going into the draft and like kind of, as we got closer and figuring out like this is kind of the guy, especially if we land in the top two, like this is the guy that we're probably going to want. And he just, like, the highlights, like, you see one mid-range jumper, like, you see a three here and there, you see a lot of dunks and putbacks. Like, he's just, like, this athletic rim runner right now. But the idea is that he has all of this potential, and I still think he does, and hopefully he'll be molded into a player that is not just a great defensive player, because he's clearly already shown that he's a player that impacts the defensive end pretty strongly already, despite being, a very young player and just getting into the NBA. And we'll see how valid that is once he gets to, like, the regular season and starts playing against, like, NBA vets and stuff. Like, it's going to be a little bit different. But his offensive game is just going to take a lot of time. So I'm not worried yet. If he's still going over 15 at the end of, like, the regular season, like a year from now, like then I'm going to start getting a little alarmed. But I think right now it is what it is. And in Summer League, a lot of people don't understand, like, all those guys that are playing in Summer League for the most part, except like the top, 30 picks, all the first round picks, like, the guys that are not drafted in the first round that are playing in Summer League, like, they're playing so hard. They're playing the toughest defense they can. They are wearing dudes down. They're trying to do everything in their power to make a roster. And it might not be the roster of the team that they're playing on Summer League. It might be someone else, because you got all the GMs there. They might get signed by another team. So they're playing their absolute hardest. So shooting the bad percentages in Summer League is fairly common for even top offensive players that, come into the league. Trae Young didn't have a great Summer League when he was playing, and he's one of the best shooters in the league. So there's there is a way to read a little bit too much into this, and I think some people are doing that for headlines and trying to make noise, and people always try to clown the Wizards, the Pistons too. Always people are trying to clown them too. But one day Wizards are gonna beat everybody's ass, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, I think the thing that's the most alarming to me, it's not about the shooting and all that, because I knew he wasn't going to be a good shooter coming in. I think the thing that alarms me is the demeanor changed for him, like once he started like really like bricking it. Like he was like, he had a pretty decent motor for the first two games and was like really going at it, trying to box dudes out and like get physical. And he obviously has to put on a lot of weight. Like I think he's 7 foot or 7'1", but he only weighs like 205 pounds. So once he starts putting on some weight, he's going to be able to figure out his game a lot more, because right now it just seems like the Wizards staff doesn't know what to do with him. They don't know where to play him, because he just has like pretty good skills for most things, except clearly shooting is not one of those skills. He definitely needs to improve his shooting. So I think he's just playing a little discombobulated right now. And, sometimes he's bringing the ball up the court. Sometimes he's taking mid-range jump shots. Sometimes he's posting up. Like, it's good to be a versatile player, but he's got to gain confidence first. And clearly his confidence is way, way down right now. But he's just got to keep at it. And he can't let, these bad games offensively, dictate how he's going to perform in the rest of the game. It's like once he started shooting poorly, it was like I could notice like he wasn't even trying as hard to get rebounds. And like, you got to do something. You got to just be focused on helping the team win. So if you're not shooting well, focus on passing the ball, getting other guys good looks, getting rebounds, getting offensive rebounds, second chance points, play around the basket, play hard defense. So I just think like that's the thing that he's got to figure out first, is like, don't let these things get you down. Like, yes, everybody's saying that, you're the second overall pick and you're playing like, you should have been an undrafted player. Like, fuck everything that people are saying. You have to focus on what you need to do to help the team win. Because at the end of the day, they drafted you at number 2 overall because they think that you are going to be a part of the future, and the future involves them winning with you. So you have to just like lock in, focus, and do what you got to do and play as hard as you possibly can, regardless if you're having a good game or a terrible game. And I think, the guy that has shown that so far on the roster is Bub Carrington. Like, Bub Carrington is playing hard regardless, and I love it, because he just wants to win. He just wants to win. And when you just play trying to win, you're forgetting about stats. You stop for, you don't care about what you're doing, like, to help the team win. You just care about helping the team win. So there's plenty of ways to get to a win, and you just got to do all the little things to give you the best chance possible to win. So he's got to focus on that, and in time, his skills will get better, and he'll be putting up the numbers that he wants to put up. But for right now, you just got to keep your energy high, block shots, get rebounds, and get points where you can. And just try to play your game, play to your strengths. And in the off season, and when you have time and practice, work on your skills and just be the hardest worker you possibly can. And, he'll prove everybody wrong. I still got faith in him. I'm not worried yet. It's going to come along. It's going to be good. And Alex Sarr is going to get to the point where he needs to be in his career. It's just going to take a little while. It's going to take a couple years. So lock in. Wizards are coming.